The morning mist rises silently from the river, blanketing the small, quiet pottery workshop in soft anticipation. Leo enters the studio before the village wakes, his footsteps quiet against the worn, dust-covered wooden floorboards. And then, Dexter stretches his golden frame atop the shelf, greeting the new day with a sleepy gaze. When the light hits the workbench, he begins to knead the cold, wet clay with steady, practiced hands. Slowly, the wheel starts to hum, and the lump of earth begins to transform into a delicate shape. The damp earth presses coolly against his palms, reminding him that every fragile form begins with patience. Leo studies the spinning clay as if listening to a quiet lesson hidden inside the river soil. But the clay yields to gravity, collapsing into a heap as he sighs at his own initial failure. Meanwhile, the golden cat watches from above, his amber eyes reflecting the quiet persistence of the young man. With a patient swipe, he clears the wheel, preparing himself to start the entire process all over again. As the sun climbs higher, the morning rays illuminate the scattered dust particles dancing in the quiet air. At this moment, he sprinkles water on the fresh clay, his focus deepening as he begins yet another attempt. Gradually, the rhythmic motion of the wheel brings a sense of calm to his breathing and tired hands. Slowly, the clay clings to his fingers, marking the evidence of 100 trials he has already faced. A moment later, the cat jumps down, purring softly against his leg as if to offer a small encouragement. Meanwhile, the delicate rim buckles under the pressure, failing again despite his best and deepest intentions. Failure does not chase him away. Instead, it teaches his fingers where to soften and where to guide. Dexter blinks slowly from the shelf, making the lonely workshop feel less silent and more forgiving. At the same time, he stops to catch his breath, wiping sweat from his forehead with a worn linen cloth. Near the doorway, he glances outside, where the world is already beginning to move without him in the distance. In the gentle breeze, the golden cat settles into a patch of light, finding comfort while his master persists. As the sunlight begins to lean west, he returns to the bin, digging out a fresh lump to try yet again. As the morning passes, he strikes the wood with purpose, centering the mass with the confidence of practice. As the studio gradually warms, his focus sharpens into a singular point, ignoring the passage of time entirely. After a simple lunch, the walls of the vessel begin to rise, thin and tall like a dream. As the afternoon settles gently, the golden cat stirs from his nap, noticing the elegant progress on the wheel. And then, a flicker of hope touches his face as the clay takes the shape he has long imagined. Finally, he carefully refines the rim, smoothing every edge until it feels balanced, complete, and perfectly still. For a long moment, Leo simply watches the vase breathe beneath his hands, afraid to rush its delicate balance. With a steady hand, he uses a thin wire to detach his creation, feeling the weight of success. He carefully moves the vase to the shelf, knowing this work will finally endure through the upcoming festival. The studio settles into quiet order as he sweeps away the remnants of the long, tiring day. Dexter leaps about in the fading light, joyful and lighthearted amidst the stillness of the tired studio. He rests on his stool, observing his calloused hands, now marked by the quiet craft of a potter. The golden sun sets slowly behind the trees, painting the studio walls in a deep, warm amber glow. At midday, the workshop remains a silent sanctuary, waiting for the potter to return to his labor. He returns to check the drying clay, feeling the texture of a vessel that finally held its shape. Then, the little cat trots behind him, his golden fur glowing brightly in the shafts of afternoon sun. With renewed purpose, he works a new portion of clay, preparing for the many pieces needed for the festival. At this moment, the wheel begins its familiar, comforting rotation, spinning the earth into a smooth, graceful, rising form. Gradually, his mind empties, leaving only the sensation of cool clay flowing between his hard-working, experienced fingers. A moment later, the cat watches from the corner, curious about the rhythm of the work occurring before him. The workshop begins to smell of wet clay, old wood, and the quiet promise of finished work. Each successful curve gives him confidence, but each imperfect edge reminds him to remain humble. Meanwhile, the shape grows taller, its walls smooth and symmetrical, proving his patience is finally paying off. At the same time, he wipes his hands clean, a moment of respite to observe his hard-earned progress today. Near the doorway, the shelf is now filled with pieces, a testament to his many mornings of consistent work. As the sunlight begins to lean west, the workshop feels alive with a quiet, peaceful energy that surrounds his humble workspace. As the morning passes, he carefully examines each piece, selecting only the finest ones to bring to the village. As the studio gradually warms, his loyal cat companion stays near his feet, watching the preparations for the event. After a simple lunch, he gently tucks his finished vessels into straw-lined baskets, ready for the journey ahead. As the afternoon settles gently, Dexter curiously inspects the baskets, sniffing the earthy scent of the newly fired clay, and then he secures the final knot, feeling proud of the collection he has built through sheer, quiet resolve. Finally, he lifts the baskets, taking a moment to look around the workspace one last time before leaving. His cat waits at the open door, watching him with anticipation for the day's journey to the festival. The heavy wooden door creaks open, letting in the cool, crisp air of the approaching festival day ahead. Outside, the river reflects the soft colors of the day as he begins his journey to the village. The baskets feel heavier than he expected, yet the weight feels honest, earned, and strangely joyful. At this point, he walks along the familiar path, carrying the heavy baskets toward the heart of the village. Gradually, the cat skips alongside him, his curiosity guiding them as they approach the festival's lively atmosphere. A moment later, they reach the village gate, where colorful flags are swaying in the breeze for the festival. Meanwhile, he surveys the crowd, feeling a sense of quiet accomplishment as he finds his spot today. At the same time, he arranges his handcrafted pots on the display table, proud of the quality of his work. Near the doorway, the cat sits watchfully on the table, his golden fur standing out against the brown clay surface. As the sunlight begins to lean west, he waits patiently for the villagers to notice the beauty of his labor-intensive vessels. As the morning passes, passers-by begin to stop, drawn by the unique finish of his humble yet beautiful pots. As the studio gradually warms, he shares the story of his craft with a smile, grateful for the shared appreciation. After a simple lunch, the friendly cat welcomes the visitors, adding a warm touch to the modest pottery stall. Children point toward the golden cat, and their laughter gently draws more visitors toward the pottery table. As the afternoon settles gently, a visitor lifts the finest piece, feeling the craftsmanship beneath their own fingertips. And then, a genuine smile spreads across his face, realizing the value of his 100 failed attempts. Finally, he bows in humble gratitude, thankful for the kindness that the village has shown his work. The sunset paints the village in twilight hues, marking the end of a successful, memorable festival day. He begins to pack away the last few items, feeling the quiet satisfaction of a task well done. His cat waits patiently on top of the basket, ready for the journey back to their quiet home. They walk home under the soft glow of the lanterns, listening to the gentle hum of the night. Under the silver light of the moon, he feels a peace that he had never known before today. Dexter gazes at the moon, walking closely by his side as they return to the familiar wooden shed. They finally arrive back at the studio, finding comfort in the silence of their humble, cozy workshop home. He sets the baskets down, the weight of the day lifting as he prepares to settle in for rest. A splash of water cleanses the dust from his face, washing away the fatigue of the long day. Soon his cat settles onto his favorite spot on the high shelf, curling up for a well-earned sleep. He runs a hand over the wooden wheel, remembering the hundreds of attempts it took to achieve today. A deep breath of relief escapes him as the stillness of the night wraps around his quiet studio. The flickering oil lamp casts long dancing shadows across the clay pots lined up on the sturdy shelves. He sits on the dusty floor, gazing at the beautiful vessels he managed to create through simple persistence. Nearby, his feline companion is fast asleep, oblivious to the day's hard work, lost in a dream. A gentle night breeze drifts through the window, cooling the warm air of the studio and bringing calm. His tired eyes close slowly, feeling the weight of the day fade into a peaceful, deep, restorative rest. The clay vessels rest quietly on their shelves, glowing softly in the faint light of the dying lamp. Outside, the silver moonlight illuminates the forest as the world sleeps soundly in the cool night air. Every corner of the small workshop feels anchored in a deep, undisturbed silence that follows the hard day. In his sleep, the little cat twitches a paw, dreaming perhaps of the day's events in the village. The flame of the lamp slowly dims, leaving the workshop in total, peaceful darkness as the night advances. From the river nearby, the soft chirping of frogs fills the air, echoing through the empty, sleeping workshop. The clay vessels, hardened and ready, stand as silent witnesses to the potter's enduring love for his craft. Now everything is still, and the world outside the workshop window is blanketed in a deep, soothing sleep. The moonlight gently touches the surface of the clay, bringing a final, soft light to the day's creations. And so, the day ends, leaving only memories of hard work, quiet patience, and the joy of creation. The little studio rests beside the river, quiet, patient, gentle, humble, golden, peaceful, steady, grateful, silent, bright, calm, warm, and ready for another beautiful morning.